been a quality all-round servant of the West Indies. And I also reminds me of that of Courtney Walsh. Rabada breaks into that run now. He's in there to Older. I don't know where that went by. I thought it had passed through the stumps without dislodging the bails. It crept along the ground and just missing the off stick. Even the wicketkeeper had some problems in the end. Good delivery.
Well, for those of you who are listening into the commentary, you're listening here at Providence, you might be thinking, you know, what did Naeem just say? Well, that one crept along the wicket rather low. It just goes to show sometimes the two-paced nature of the Providence ward.
Up, standing up and stabbing away. Just a single. Down to cover. Rabada has been the man from all the great names to replace. From South Africa, Dale Steyn being perhaps number one. And we also had Jacques Callis, great people, Markram, really fantastic fast bowlers. At one time, I think South Africa would have been way above any other country in their fast bowling attack. Here is Rabada at the National Stadium in Guyana. Motie's on the back foot. And look how simple these batsmen are making the bowling look. It's unbelievable when you look back at both sides. The earlier batsmen struggling and getting out. 84 for 6, end of the over.
They trail by 76. These two have put on, 28 runs, Naeem, for the 7th wicket. And it just goes to show what a little bit of application can do for you. It can do great things. We did see the fall of wickets earlier. But like you said, you know, they're probably telling the other batters out in the middle, look, this wicket we can all make runs if we apply ourselves. Keshav Maharaj, who bowled at Martin, spelled 40 consecutive overs in Trinidad and Tobago in Port of Spain, is coming now from the media center end. He is another chief whip here for South Africa, and if he can get wickets early, he's going to put a lot of pressure on the West Indies. Let's see how Motie and Hola will handle him here.
Well, Maharaj comes from a very rich background. He's had 51 test matches. This is test match number 52. He's picked up 166 wickets. Was the star, as you mentioned, Wadikar, in the Trinidad test match where he picked up 8 wickets for 40 consecutive overs. So he's able to bowl very long spells with heavy concentration. So he's going to take up the attack from the northern end of the ground. And he's going to be bowling to Jason Holder. Good battle out there, good fight back for partnerships for South Africa. We had 2 basically that were pretty good to look at. One was 37 from Stubbs and Bedingham. And then the final pair of Berger and Pete, 63. Now this one is gaining some value here. Holder onto the back foot. Of course, it's slow. His left arm orthodox into the offside. He plays it and gets a single.
Yes, and when you have played that amount of test matches, it tells you something, isn't it? You've got experience. You've got tons of experience. So even though you might not be picking up the wickets in the early stages of your bowling, you still got something to go back to. And Maharaj, he's a trump card. So let's see what he will do.
Let's look at him now from the commentary box and into Motie. Motie backs, chops it away, nicely knocked down at cover point. I think the fielding has been excellent from the South Africans.
You know, you can mention it a 1,000 times. Look, the fielding has been brilliant. Absolutely great work in the field.
Yeah, they've snapped up every opportunity. A few went a begging for the West Indies. Motie's down the track, checks the shot, and gently pushing into the offside field.
So it's just a matter of 75 runs that really separate these two teams at the moment. The West Indies are 85 for 6, yes, point taken, but they can get up there if they bat smart.
Maharaj comes in, bowls to Motie. Motie back and squares it up on the offside. Cover point there, picks it up, and there is no run. But that's interesting if they can just chip away and bring down that overhead expense that they have, or cost if you like. 160, if they can wipe that out, it'll be an interesting test match still in the making. Motie is on the back foot, gently into the offside. What I've noticed here, Wadikar, is none of the spinners so far, including Maharaj, and this is only his first over to judge, they're not getting much out of this pitch. Motie drives slightly in the air, picked up down at cover, and there is no run. That's the end of Maharaj's over. 85 for the loss of 6, 21 overs gone.
Yeah, they trail by 75, and to support your point, Warrican, Motie, and now Maharaj, they seem to have very little support from this Providence wicket. The seamers, mind you, have been the trump card so far for both teams. And South Africa, when you look at them, they're really ripped through the West Indies top order, like the West Indies. So their seamers have been the ones to take the bulk of the wickets. Rabada, unfortunately, 7 overs, 2 minutes, 20 runs, hasn't taken a wicket. Some would be surprised.
Well, he is coming in now at the southern end of the ground. He's up there, bowls to Holder. That's a good delivery. One that clawed back from wide outside the line of the off stump, struck Holder somewhere between bat and pad. Must have gotten a bit of bat onto that, but he was in no man's land. In fact, he was beaten. Beaten all ends up. Then the ball struck his arm, forearm, into the helmet, and he just managed to fend it off. Good ball.
Yes, time and again we'd see the nature of the Providence wicket. One was going to rise, the other is going to keep rather low.
Here is Rabada. He's up there now to Holder. Holder gets another one that comes back from outside the line of the off stump, turns it into the onside for a single. Midon goes around. South Africans have been pretty hungry out there in the field, snapping up everything. It seemed just a few bad ones when the West Indies were actually fielding. A few in the slip cordons in particular, where good enough efforts were not made, when bad fielding ricocheted off the hands, went down for 3, and not entirely good. But the South Africans have been smart. Rabada to Motie. Motie lets it go. Easy to read. He's just watching it as though he can read the writing on the ball. Made in England.
Yep. We have the Kookaburra, the SG made in India. And also we have the Duke's ball being made out in England. So, those are some pieces of information for you. Some of you are following the cricket. Might be thinking they're playing with a cricket ball. Where exactly was that made?
Well, Pakistan also a big manufacturer of cricket balls outside the off-stump. Rabada, Motie lets it go. But it's not funny when Motie is a very, well, I'd like to describe him as not average, above average in size and in height. But when he's standing next to Holder, he looks diminutive. How is Bavuma supposed to look?
Well, I did mention it, Bavuma might probably be perhaps the shortest of current international cricketers.
Was David Williams, of course, of the West Indies, and another one from Trinidad, outside the off stump.
Did you remember Tatenda Taibu, Zimbabwe?
Yeah.
Pretty dapper as well.
But there was one from Trinidad, not David Williams. David Murray is from Barbados, and then David Williams from Trinidad. Very, very petite and miniature looking, so to speak, and so is Bavuma. But Bavuma is not keeping the wicket. These are all wicket keepers we're listing. Rabada comes into Motie. Motie is on the back foot, squares up again on the offside. Motie looks in absolutely no trouble. I don't understand how the earlier batsmen were looking like that in both teams.
Yes, it's it's really ironic to say this, because the top order batters were struggling, but now you have the lower order batters. They seem to be having no sort of trouble. We look at the scorecard: Brathwaite 3, Louis a duck, Carty 26, Athanaze 1, Hodge 4, Holder is not out on 28, the Silva 4, and Motie is there on 6. Warrican, Shamar, Joseph, and Seals to come. They would want them to stay in the pavilion as long as possible. They'd want, the West Indians would want these two to go a pretty far away. Maharaj continues though.
But I guess they all know that you've got 4 full days. 24 hours make up a day. I can't recall the last time I checked. That was it. They have not changed it to a 5-hour day. It's still 24 hours. You've got 6 hours of cricket. So just bat. How these men are looking so good. Very, very difficult to explain that. Holder prods forward comfortably, precisely, and gets it out into the offside. Bavuma picks it up. There's no run.
He looks quite accomplished, isn't it, Jason Holder? Quite competent.
Solitary slip, a man. This one is short. He's punching into the offside and gets a single. There's a backward short leg, almost going towards leg slip. And there's a silly point. Very, very interesting field. This is good stuff, especially off the bowling of Maharaj. Now there's a slip, so there's a little change for Gudakesh Motie, the left-hander. Solitary slip and a forward short leg. Maharaj comes in, bowls now to Motie. Motie is covering up, defending comfortably, in absolute confidence there. Nothing seems to worry the batsman at the moment, both Motie and the holder. Maharaj comes in to Motie. Motie forward, inside edge, forward square leg, picks it up. Along the ground, that's the catch they're waiting for. Maharaj is coming into the left-handed Motie. If he prods forward and the ball pops, it can come up and off the upper part of the bat and back forward square leg picks it up as a catch. Here's Maharaj once more. He's in. Bowls to Motie. Motie is trying to swing it down the leg side. Misses, taken by the wicketkeeper. That's the end of the over. 87 for the loss of 6. Holder 29, Motie 6.
Yes, they trail by 73, and you want to, you did see the frustration there by the reaction of Maharaj. He's pretty good at this level, and he's getting absolutely very little turn here, very little support from this Providence wicket. So one will think that, look, we have seen through the West Indians I'm talking about, we've seen through the major part of it. We have lost 6 wickets. We haven't lost the game though as yet. We still have time on our side. It's early days yet. It's only the first day. We only trail by 73. We can continue to build on this.
Yes, it's early times, but then it's only 2 times each you'll bat, and that looks like tomorrow. Holder almost getting one onto his wickets. He's groping back on the back foot there. That one cut back appreciably by Rabada from outside the off stump.
Time and again, I'll see it happen for the umpteenth time in this test match, a batter picking up the ball and relaying it to the fielder. I just hope that, they're consulting with the fielder, seeking the permission before they would handle the ball, because if they'd appeal, it'll be obstruction.
Yes, of course it will be. They probably know the camaraderie that exists between the two teams. Long ago you used to do it, and nobody objected. Now you've got to be careful. But I find that those things happen more in the money-making games, the franchise cricket and all of that. Test match is still quite a gentleman's game.
Yes, and we were talking about test match cricket, the love of it, the fun for it. It tests your character, your skills, and all these things.
Holder settles 29. Rabada to him, he's nudging one into the onside, down to mid-on. There's no run. But Holder is as calm and as collective as a judge. He's unruffled, head absolutely on his shoulders. He knows exactly what he's doing, and nothing devilish I'm seeing from the pitch. I keep saying this. Except that also the spinners have been pretty innocuous in today's game. Rabada turns now, charges in, up and bowls to Holder. Holder beaten outside the off stump, just getting, or missing rather, the outside edge.
Well, there you go. That's the funny game of cricket, the interesting game of cricket. Holder was looking so sweet at the crease and was really middling almost everything. That beat the outside edge. Really a jaffa of a delivery. And Rabada just showing his brilliance, his expertise, his experience and all of that.
Just about 77 overs in a day, 90 are scheduled. Turned down to backward square, Holder single. So there's a quiet period as the shadows of the buildings on the western side of the ground, the shadows are stretching, almost getting towards the part of the pitch. We see that used to happen at GCC ground border, Guyana's mecca of cricket, where the shadows before 5 o'clock, in fact, the game is still going on and the shadows already on the pitch, almost covering it. Rabada from the far end, southern end of the ground, he's up there now, bowls to Motie. That one makes some height. Motie's equal to the task because it's pretty short, had sufficient time to come in behind and turn it up on the onside. End of the over, 88 for 6, and the struggle goes on.
Yes, and the South Africans might just be thinking, what really do we need to do to take a wicket now? They trail by 72, the West Indies, but the way things are going right now, we don't see, as you said, no real devil in the track, unless if the batter can do something out of the ordinary. But nothing really seems to trouble these West Indian batters right now. The West Indian team will be hoping that they can stay for a pretty long time, but Maharaj, he's pretty good with the ball. And let's see what he can do for South Africa. They want to prize out a wicket here, though.
Want to go back to Mulder and Berger at some stage because nothing seems to be happening. Even Rabada, operating from the southern end, is not creating a lot of worries for the batsmen. Rabada's problems he had inflicted on the West Indian batsmen operating from the top end. Forward goes Holder into the offside. But Rabada has suddenly become relatively innocuous operating from the southern end, bowling into the afternoon Atlantic breeze. Here's Maharaj. He's in there now to Holder. Holder lets it go. He saw that from a mile. Just looking forward, gently raising the bat, allow it to go outside the line of the off stump.
Yes, it's really calm out for the two batters right now. No trouble.
Yes, the spinners have been unable to create any kind of worries for the batsmen. And I'm talking here about the West Indies spinners as well as Maharaj for the South Africans. Holder, 29, settles, lets it go outside the off stump. Already seems to be accepting a frame of mind based on his body language that I'm closing up shop, but he's got quite a while more to be out there and bat. Maharaj turns, moves away from us, northern end, and bowls to Holder. Holder is promptly forward, compact and sealed, and the deal is sealed, pushing away into the offside. That's the end of the over. Over number 25 gone, 88 for the loss of 6.
It just goes to show that, a partnership in life can bring you great things. They've added now 32 runs for the 7th wicket. How valuable is that? We're going to find out at the end of the test match. But it's significant. We look at the schedule coming up. Also, South Africa and the West Indies will be clashing in 3 T20 matches built for Taruba in Trinidad, August 23rd, 25th, and 27th. Still lots of cricket to look forward to, Naeem.
Yes, of course, the West Indies and Bangladesh are due here. But importantly for South Africa, and this is why they need a win, because the World Test Championships, the West Indies basically not involved, but South Africa is. Motie is back, punches through the offside. That's a nice shot. It will go very, very close to backward point on the boundary. Doesn't have the legs to reach in. 2 runs there to Motie. It's coming back to the point where for South Africa to get to Lords for the World Test Championships, they would need, if they don't win this, they would need to win most, if not all, of the remaining test matches that they have to play to qualify.
Yes, it puts them in a very difficult situation. So here's what the scenario is: this, the equation is this: come out here, win this test match. When you win from here, you'll have that momentum.
Here is Rabada. That's a nasty delivery, one that zips past the bat of Gudakesh Motie. Excellent delivery. That's the only delivery that I'm seeing was dirty and nasty, if those are proper words to describe it, and just missing the outside edge of Motie's bat. Motie knows that. He walks around, looking around. I don't know what he's looking for, but you were absolutely beaten on that occasion.
It just goes to show the brilliance of Rabada, isn't that so?
Yeah, that one lifted drastically outside the off stump. Next delivery taken by the wicket-keeper, no run. But Motie has handled this well to give that kind of support to Holder.
Yes, look, coming together with a partnership of over 30 runs for the 7th wicket, your team is struggling. You need to build and build slowly. They've been running well between the wickets. The calling has been very good. Very good communication. All in all, they've played well for the West Indies so far.
Yes, the running has been excellent too. I'd give Motie the credit there of not being beaten. I think he played inside the line. Rabada, another lifter. Rabada has looked good in this over. Another lifting delivery just outside the line of the off stump. Motie playing inside the line.
Perhaps Motie didn't take a wicket in the first test, Naim. He took one in the first innings. Perhaps he can prove a point with his bat here.
Well, he's been trying to do that in his career. I think he's been developing the looks of a good all-rounder. He lets it go outside the off stump, just like Jason Holder, basically, was more inclined to bowling. He's worked on his batting. You all know the history of him, a double century and all of that. And so he's worked his way now as a recognized, internationally recognized all-rounder.
Yes, he is, and of course, he has that experience as well, so that that can really lend you massive support.
Motie 8, Holder 29, outside the off stump, taken by the wicketkeeper from behind. So they've been out there for a long time. Holder's been there on 29 for a while now. We saw a little volcanic eruption from him, had a 6 for 2 boundaries, and then all of a sudden he's gone introverted. But he's batting with intelligence. He knows he's got a lot of time, and he knows too that they've got a score to overhaul, which is 160. They're now 90 for 6.
Yes, we can safely say that we're in the closing stages of this last session, the first day of this very all-important second test match, West Indies versus South Africa. The shadows beginning to lengthen. We've had a fair size crowd coming in today, at least occupying the green stand to our far right, and that's nice to see. I hope tomorrow, being the second day, Naim, that people can come out again and support this game, and I hope you get the tickets and get them early, Naim.
Yeah, well, I don't want to comment too much. I've already bought. Sometimes you get into bad investments, and I hope that's not one for Saturday. Yeah, and a car pass too. Not only the tickets for the spectators, but a car pass too. I was pregnant with confidence that this match will be going all the way. So thanks to Holder and Motie, they're holding back the decline.
Question for you, Naim. Did you check the refund policy?
That's in fine writing. I didn't notice. Yeah, didn't notice that there's no refund offered. Here's Maharaj operating from the commentary box end. That's the northern end of the ground. He's in there now to Holder forward. And there's a nice little wind coming across the ground because I'm looking at the flannels of the trousers and the shirts of the players, especially Maharaj. And it's like wobbling around, shaking, and you know that there's a nice gentle breeze, Atlantic breeze coming in to the National Stadium. Holder on the back foot. It seems as though he's had 2.5 days' time to just stroke that ball gently outside the off stump. Nothing seems a bother here. And I think I'd like to assume Bavuma will change the bowling and bring back his medium pacers, because Maharaj is failing to get anything out of this pitch.
Yes, he's not extracting bounce and turn, and that's that's something of a disappointment for the entire South Africa team, because they're closing in now. I'm hoping to get a wicket, but you know what? Holder is smarter, and he's playing a much better role.
Now, this one, Holder drives straight through the covers. That's going to go on the signal of the umpire, 4 runs. Yeah, nice shot. Now, something was happening there. Bavuma was bringing in his field, clustering Holder, and Holder just decided to remind him, listen, I am an all-rounder. I can bat. Send these guys out from next to me. Reminds me a little bit of the Russia-Ukraine war. The Russians don't want NATO to come too close, or else we'll have a little explosion, and there was Holder. Next delivery, Holder beaten outside the off stump. Holder is 33-94 for the loss of 6 at the end of 27.
Sometimes you sound like old age politician with those discussions about the nuclear power and all of that. Naim, just being on the lighter side. 94 for the loss of 6. They trail by 66. And look, the South Africans, they're not extracting any real bounce turn from this surface here. So, it might be a little bother for them. Bavuma might be thinking, look, what may I do now to have a wicket? The West Indies are going away with the runs. Holder is well set. He's getting good support from Motie. We need to get a wicket. So he's entrusted the ball into his senior man, and that's Rabada, who will continue.
There's Rabada now to Motie. Motie's 8. 94 for 6. Motie gets a lifter. Nasty delivery again. Motie was just fortunate to get out of the way. That's a good bouncer. Just it could have been directed a little more over the middle stump, and Motie would have been struck. That's driving fair. That's a good bouncer. Not when you drop it halfway up the pitch and the batsman has all the time in the world to just tuck his head inside and let it go.
Perhaps, Rabada is just reminding him that, look, I am KG Rabada. I am from South Africa. He continues.
Yes, here is Rabada now to Motie. Motie again trying to play inside the line. I think I'll give him that credit again. Just picking up the line and letting it go outside the off stump. So the shadows are all passing the pitch now, the center of play. So one end of the pitch, that's the northern end of the pitch, that half of it is covered by shadows. And the other end, that's the southern half of the pitch, the shadows are about reaching there. So bit of confusion as far as half the pitch is light, half with shadow. Wonder if that can take an effect, a negative effect on the batting, as seems, and Rabada knows that. This is the third time in 2 overs that Rabada is bowling lifting deliveries very fast, straight at Motie.
I'm disappointed, and I tell you why. Bavuma is seeing this. Rabada is running in, bowling short stuff to Motie. He's not comfortable, and he's not employing maybe a forward short leg or a fielder on the offside, which I think should be the case here if you want a wicket.
Here's Rabada charging in to bowl to Motie. Motie picks up the line this time and lets it go. But I wonder if it can be some measure of difficulty for the batsman, where the bowler is in sunshine running in and bowling, and half of the pitch is shadowed. So there's a change of color of the ball. 2 different times you're seeing it, or on 2 different frames or lens. One time it's reflecting on the sunshine, the next time, by the time it gets to it's dark. Rabada comes into Motie again, he lets it go outside the off stump. He's not taking any chances. Score remains on 94. This is almost heading towards a maiden over. And Holly's 33-8 is Motie. Slow goings, and I think the 2 batsmen have said and decided we're going to stay here until the end of play.
Coming back to what you were mentioning, I've never really heard that situation in Test match cricket, but you never know what can happen. The batters can say, look, as you said, there are 2 different scenarios here, and we're going to take this up.
Motie is driving through the offside. Chase here, runs for the batsman. They've gone for 1, coming back for 2. And I would like to think that Holder should turn back. They were casually going for the second. The 3rd run was on. It's for the first time in this partnership that I'm seeing a bit of lackadaisical conduct there. So they got 3 runs nevertheless, and still going strong with their partnership. The end of the over, it's 97 for the loss of 6.
97 for the loss of 6. We look at the very sorry scorecard, at least the first half of the West Indies innings. But Motie is 11 from 33. Holder is 33 from 51. Occupation of the crease is very, very vital here. We are heading to the closing stages of this first day, and you never know what can happen here, Naeem. Strange things happen in Test match cricket. Awesome things happen. Teams are well set, then they happen to lose wickets and lose them quickly. A bowler comes from nowhere, takes a wicket or 2. Let's see what will happen.
Maharaj comes in, bowls to Motie. Motie's back and chops it away. Doesn't get hold of it. Gets it down to backward point, no run. 41 runs this pair has put on. I think that's really good batting. They've shown very little problems that they've been encountering in this partnership. Very good. Motie struck on the pad. There's out. That's what the umpire says. I hardly believe Motie might want to review that. Holder is going down to have a word with him. He was trying to sweep it down the leg side. From this vantage point, it looks as though it was struck somewhere in the vicinity of the stumps. Now, whether it was going on to hit the stumps, that's another problem. But the umpire gave it out, and I guess they're going to wait on the review.
Look, it comes back to what I just said. A bowler can do something splendid, something out of the ordinary. Keshav Maharaj tossed it up a little bit. Motie was on the back foot pulling towards mid-wicket. He was struck on the pad. And most times than not, we take the umpire's call. On this case, he was struck. The umpire said, you're out. They went for the review. Let's see what will happen though. But in my estimation, from our vantage point here, I would want to believe that he was out. Let's see though.
It's looking pretty straight without casting any blame anywhere. But it looks pretty straight. The third eye would have the last say. Original decision not out by the umpires, by the ruling umpire, and review being asked for. So it's gone upstairs. We'll have to wait and see. The two batsmen are in dialogue, conversation. The fielders have assembled on the other side of the pitch, hoping and waiting for good news that they have broken the partnership. But looking from the eyes of the players, none seem very, very sure. But Motie looks as though that he was struck. Whether it was high is another issue, and the umpires will have that say. But he's given out. Am I right?
Yes.
He's given out.
Yes, I think at the end of it, the perfect decision was made. And I want to say this, and let me be clear and straight about this. I want to say it. This is my honest opinion. I thought he gave it away there towards the last moment. He was batting so well, and I think that would be the end of play on the first day. The players are going off. Let me just confirm that. 97 for the loss of 7 wickets. 63 they trail by. And Keshav Maharaj picking up that very important wicket, putting lots of pressure on the West Indies now. Tomorrow is going to be another interesting day, but a day today where the pendulum has swung both sides. First, it swung for the West Indies, and now it's swinging in South Africa's favor. At the end of day number 1, the West Indies have found themselves in a spot of bother again, and it just goes to show how important and significant Test match cricket is.
So that's the story then. The West Indies will go off the field, responding to 160 posted by South Africa, and they have closed off what's the score there? 97? Yeah, 97 for the loss 8. 97 for the loss 7, Motie being the last batsman out. So if you just joined us a bit late, what happened today is that South Africa won the toss, decided to bat first, and they were bundled out at the stroke of tea for 160. 160 then, after tea, the West Indies would have come out, and they are now 7 wickets down for 97. So the story of the day, very low scores from both sides. Shamar Joseph was a star bowler. He picked up 5 for 33, Seals 3 for 45, the major bowlers there. But for the batting of South Africa, Markram just managed 14, much more was expected of him, 26 from Stubbs, 28 from Bedingham, and 38 from Verreynne, hosting a partnership with Pete of 63. Now that was a fantastic innings with Pete, getting 38. So the South Africans all out at the stroke of tea for 160. And the West Indies took it from there. Louis went, when the score was 2, he went for a duck. Brathwaite, the wickets were tumbling one after the next. Brathwaite went for 3, Athanaze for 1, Hodge for 4, Carty for 26, the Silva for 4, and Motie for 11. So at the close, 97 for the loss of 7, just when I think that Keacy, a recovery by Motie and Holder was in the mid.
Yes, 41 runs that partnership produced to the 7th wicket, the highest of course for the West Indies. Rabada 11 overs 3 made is done for 26. Borga 7 overs 1 made and 2 for 32. Mulder 6 overs 2 minutes, 4 for 18. They pick up the bowlers, Mulder and Berger 4 for 18, and Maharaj 4.2 overs 1 min, 1 for 6, just picking up the batter in Motie, having him out let before wicket 11. So the end of the first day's play with the loss of 17 wickets. Almost 2 teams have been dismissed in one day. 17 wickets going down for 160 plus 97 runs. Naeem, if your maths is good, that makes it 230, 57 runs. I make it.
Yeah, what I know, it doesn't make for good calculations. That's for sure. And a sordid story here from the National Stadium.
Yes, so no partnerships really for the West Indies. 2, 19, 14, 8, 4, 9, and the last one before Motie went for 41 for that partnership from 75 balls. But all in all, an action-packed day that you wouldn't say was a pleasant one for Test match cricket, because in Test match cricket you want to see good batting, you want to see good bowling as well, but in reality you don't want to see 70 wickets falling. But that's what cricket is all about, and that's what happened on day 1 here in this second and final Test match between South Africa and the West Indies here at the National Stadium at Providence. So South Africa would be very happy that even though they were dismissed for 160, they were in a very good position in terms of, with ball in hand, they have the West Indies 97 for 728.2 overs.
Well, that's the latest from the National Stadium. On behalf of all my co-commentators and working colleagues from Light FM, 104.1 FM, that is, it was a great pleasure doing commentaries here. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Please join us then.